So what type of man do you need to be to achieve the goals that you set? What type of man do you need to be for the goals to achieve them? Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Boardman, and if you are coming through, then please do let me know, either by dropping a love heart, either commenting, saying hi, how's your week been, what have you got planned for the weekend, what's happening in your life, and if you need to, tag or share this with someone that might need it. How are we doing? Happy Friday. Hope you're feeling good. So here's a question. Have you set any quarter two plans? Have you set any plans for this next quarter coming up? For April, May and June? What are the milestones? What are the goals? The key question I want to ask though is what type of guy, what type of man do you need to be to show up to achieve those goals? Now, one of the biggest reasons that I think goals and milestones are not achieved is because we don't show up as the man that we need to be to achieve them. And the way that we can figure out what type of guy we are is by looking at the last 3 months and thinking about all of the goals, dreams, milestones, achievements that you wanted to achieve when it became the new year. And ask yourself, did you achieve any of that? What were the biggest distractions? What were the biggest problems that were going on that stopped you or prevented you from achieving the highest standard possible to achieve those goals? So was it a lack of commitment? Were you that man that just couldn't commit, that just wasn't being consistent? Were you the man that just wasn't showing up towards his family enough? Was just getting too distracted and bogged down by the people around them, the negative friends that they surround themselves with? Were you the man that just constantly got distracted by all of the problems that was going on around them and consuming their energy and their time to deal with them? Maybe you were the man that just hid and run away and didn't show up because they felt they weren't achieving or they weren't good enough. You could be any of those men. You could be any of those identities. Equally, you could be that man that did show up, that did have breakthroughs, that did get to that next level, that did raise their standards and their status and move them forwards to that elite operating level of thinking. But as we go into quarter two, and as we start what we would call a new era, a new opportunity, I want you to start thinking about the guy you need to be. Because what we need to start doing is taking off the armor. We need to start dissecting our character, our principles, our values, and making sure that they are good enough to be able to show up and achieve the goals that you set. Because if you don't, you know what's going to happen. You already feel the suffering and the pain. You already go through the anguish and distress. You already go through the victim mentality and hardship on yourself and self-pressure. You go through all of that, so you know what the outcome is going to be if you don't connect the dots, if you don't show up as the man that you need to be, if you keep going around this cycle of never showing up, of never being committed, of being overwhelmed constantly over and over and over again. And it's not, the consequences don't just stop at feeling sorry for yourself, do they? They go into the family life where your wife then ends up being the shield, or your partner, or your kids, and they don't get the dad that they deserve, right? Because you're not showing up as the man that you need to be. Then your work or your career takes the hit. So you're not performing as you should be. You're not getting what you think you should be. You then become entitled. So it's like a ripple effect when we don't achieve those goals. And it's probably quite hard to hear for some. And some will be triggered by it. Good, I'm glad you are. Because no one else is coming to save you. No one else is coming to tell you the blunt truth of what needs to be said. If you haven't been showing up, it's because you haven't been the man that you need to be. In some respects, I've been that guy this quarter. And I haven't shown up as I probably needed to. Not on all fronts, not across the board. Not in terms of being well balanced. But I can be honest for that because I don't need to hide behind an ego shield. I'm never going to be perfect, and there is no such thing as perfection. There is no such thing as the perfect routine, the perfect man, the perfect way of showing up. There is show up, learn, grow, repeat. Show up, learn, grow, repeat. And we become the man that we want to be. But we only become the man we want to be when we show up. Not when we hide. And it can be a really tough break for some people. It can be. So what I want you to do over the weekend is start thinking about what type of man do I need to be? Do I need to be more committed? Do I need to have more character? Do I need to have more mental resilience? Do I need to reduce my expectations? Do I need to stop hiding behind my ego? What do I need to do to win? What do I need to do to alleviate my status and standards that I show up at now? All right? I hope that helps, guys. And if you do need help with that, then you can join our 5-day challenge next week. Okay? It doesn't cost you a penny, but if you're committed to yourself, it will cost you a little bit of time and energy. And it will really make a huge difference in a short amount of time. All right, guys, I hope you have a great weekend. I'm going to be in and out of social media over the weekend, and then we're back to shows. I'm back home, back to normality after being on the road for 7 days. Love to you all. Catch you soon.